Alright, I think we're streaming now.
Only took 40 years.
Shut up.
Hello, hoes.
Cody,
Oh.
would you like to join our stream?
I'm still driving, but what are y'all doing?
Oh, we're discussing anime.
Oh, do I need to leave?
If you want to. I mean,
All right. So no D&D tonight.
we can do D&D. I'm down to do it, but I don't know who else. No one else has like really said anything about it. So
Look, we just need to just accept that it's going to be us three on and just have us three.
Well, Kellis has been pretty consistent too, but
That's
he doesn't
it.
have anything today. I don't know. We'll see who gets on because it's still a little early. But all right. Well, I'll let y'all do y'all's podcast or whatever the heck y'all doing.
alright, you're more than welcome to join if you wish. Because I know you
I mean,
love
I'll
anime.
stay in, but I don't know anything about any of these animes.
Well, I mean, that doesn't
We
really
just
matter.
need to get you to watch all of them.
Yes.
I'm not watching them.
Why?
I don't watch anything.
Oh yeah.
Like,
You watch sports games? Don't lie to me.
yeah, you're right. I do watch football, but god dang it, I got a call from work anyways.
No.
So
Okay. Caught him red-handed, AJ, in 4K. Lying to us.
I don't know how to. I wanted just to capture the this specific window, but I don't know.
What is in here? Oh.
I guess it's working. I don't know. Let's just fucking do it. I don't care anymore. All right, Kiko.
It doesn't
This
matter
is YouTube, so we're gonna have to like pause every few
even if all of this was
seconds
said in
to discuss it, or otherwise YouTube's gonna kick us off the stream.
Really?
It'll do that, yeah.
I thought that was only on like music videos.
Well, it just depends. They can be pretty finagly about it. Let me.
It's a word I haven't used in a long time.
Thank you. Try. Jagger might be
I hope that
interested in doing
technician
D&D.
comes up. Who?
I said Jagger might be interested in doing D&D.
Augers.
Dude, Kiko, we're live on YouTube. It's wild.
stone from the start. Even if all of this was what I wanted, everything is still ahead.
I don't know how people I don't know how people get away with being able to use so much footage from an anime and not get in trouble. I use
The
like
same way
I
that-
use like 3 seconds of the Disney clip and it's like, oh, fuck you.
See, 'cause
we
you
found
did
you,
Disney.
motherfucker.
You did Disney. That is like holy material that you cannot criticize or touch upon. You use 1 second of Disney, AJ, you'll be copyright strike 3 times.
Even if it is one of their most shitty movies, Toy Story 4. Straight fucking garbage. I do plan on making an actual video over that and the decline of Disney.
When Attack on Titan ended, many people were quick to decide that the ending was terrible. Even beyond.
Many were quick to decide the ending was terrible. Well, usually when something ends, you have an opinion on it, especially if you've been reading it for, I don't know, like 8 years or so. You know, that's when I started reading it. I started reading it in fucking middle school.
Yeah, you have been invested in this for a longer time than most people.
Well, it's not even like, I'm not like, it's not even that I've just been invested longer. It's like, just, if you have read, even if you read it the week or the day that the ending came out, to say, or ever, like, it doesn't matter when the ending comes out. If you read it a year from now and you get to the ending, you're like, damn, that ending was shit. Does that count as, oh, you were pretty quick to hate on that, or you were pretty quick to think the ending was bad? No, I read the entire series, and from that, I've decided the ending is bad. It
You
took
can't form
me
your
the
own
exact
opinion.
amount of time it took me to read the entire manga to decide that it was bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this guy's just being a little pretentious with like, oh, we need to fucking discuss and delegate our opinions over the course of fucking 5 years to decide whether the ending's bad. And in the meantime, I'm gonna come out with some stupid fucking video that's just fucking pretentious and just ripped from the video essay catalog. Sounds like every other fucking video essay. I swear. They all like convene and they all take turns writing each other's like little stupid scripts. And
You know what we need, AJ?
they have that very soft, very stupid fucking voice that they all use.
We need you, AJ, to be the Aaron of the story. We need you to be the
I need
anti-hero.
to cross the ocean to destroy my enemies. My
If I
enemies are across
criticize,
the ocean.
if I criticize every YouTuber on this platform defending the ending, will we finally be free?
We'll be free of video essays if I just get angry enough. I'm just gonna be Aaron, but I can't transform. I'm just gonna be angry.
We need to edit. Oh, it's not a YouTube video. I was gonna say we need to edit you with your face on top of Aaron saying that. That's why I wish we could edit. Like I wish I could edit videos because that's what I would do. I'd put your face on top of Aaron while he's saying that.
Oh, well, this is gonna be a big aside, but Cole just asked me. He said, when are we playing PUBG?
I don't have PUBG.
Because PUBG is free now, Kiko.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I'd rather just play Apex.
Well, you know.
Apex is free.
Yeah, but Apex has been free.
It's also fun, whereas PUBG, I never found it too much fun.
It can be fun sometimes. Just don't play with the people I play with. So let's continue. See what this nice man has to say about this stupid fucking manga.
Beyond that,
Or
many people
anime.
accused it of being retconned. That for whatever reason, Isayama had backed out of his vision at the last minute.
So I don't know if he means. I don't know why he's using the word redcon like that. Usually when you use redcon, it means to take an established ending and then you redcon it. But what we have now is the established ending. So Isayama didn't redcon anything. Unless you're talking about things that happened previously in the story. I wouldn't so much as say a lot of those were redconned as they were just either dropped or forgotten or just set aside and made way for stupider shit. But I wouldn't say he went back and changed anything necessarily, I guess. That was already established. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not like he went back and was like, oh, Zeke was never the Beast Titan. He was the Jaw Titan all along, or whatever. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why he's. I wish he would retcon it now. I wish he would, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And that's
If he actually retconned it now, it'd be great.
and that's the problem. He didn't retcon it. He has
What if he's waiting
retconned it.
What if he's waiting for the movie Battle Against Heaven and Earth to retcon it?
He's not going to.
Come on now.
He's got too many supporters that are.
He honestly is probably.
He's got too many Jaegerists, Kiko. He has too many Jaegerists behind him.
Honestly, he probably has forgotten about Attack on Titan at this point, and he's more busy with his sauna or onsen.
What is it? What is that?
He said that after Attack on Titan, he's gonna focus on his public bathhouse that he opened.
Hell yeah, good shit. I'm glad he ruined like a decade-old manga so he can open up a bathhouse. That's good. What's integrity, anyways? I mean, who am I? I'm just, God damn it, Jagger. He wants to do a barbarian.
No. Jagger.
What should I say, John? Should I tell him that we have 2 other barbarians, or should I just...
And tell him that that's fine since it's what he wants to be, but you would recommend that there's better classes that fit that role. Like,
I don't even know what role he wants. I assume he just wants to hit things, but
that's what I'm
we have
saying.
so
There's
many
better.
people that play fucking hit things. Like, no offense, but we just don't have any. We don't have a whole lot of like else.
I mean,
I'll say. I'll say all right. Sounds good. But just so you know, Cody and Gillis are very too. All right. So let's continue on.
Creating a new ending and scrapping what he had spent a decade planning. At the heart of that discussion was Aaron himself. The conclusion of his arc and the reveal of his motivations led many people to believe.
So I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as to say as he scrapped everything he had worked on or any ending he had in mind. I just think he fell apart at the end. I just think he just couldn't finish.
yeah, he kind of hyped up the manga too much.
Yeah, well, it's just like, like I
And
said before.
explain too much of the mystery is also another issue. I mean, you can explain it,
Well,
sure, but
it's
like,
not even like he explained it. He replaced like interesting ideas and stuff with like magic. Like it just became like a magic fest, It's like, oh, this is the will of Ymir, who is just the Titan god, And it's like the big mysteries, And it's just kind of like a letdown because you have these big mysteries, literally, no pun intended. Where are the Titans from? Where did these walls come from? Why can't anyone remember whatever? It's all these things. Why are there Titans in the walls and shit? And then, we get to the end and it's just like, oh, well, it's just Ymir. This is all the will of Ymir, obviously. Didn't you see this, Kiko? Didn't you see the will of Ymir working the entire time? Didn't you know paths? It was so clear from the beginning. It was so obvious. Obviously, the through line was there. You know what I mean? It's just kind of lame. It's really lame, actually. To just first of all, the thing about Ymir, when she fell in that tree, what even is the semen centipede thing that attached to her? What is it? What is that thing?
the
What the
origin of life.
Oh, well, okay. Does it say that in the manga?
No, that was my theory.
Oh, I guess it could have been, but why does it need a host? And also, does that make Ymir the god, or does that make the semen centipede the god? And is a Ymir like an avatar for that thing then?
Oh, I got a call.
God damn it, Kiko.
You there?
Yeah.
I think it's a spam call, so I just put it on mute.
Okay.
But what's up?
Well,
I'm trying
there's
to figure out what the thing is, like what she fell into.
well, she just fucking fell into a big tree.
What if Aaron was the one that put that tree there, AJ?
Bro, Paz, man. Paz. What if it was,
Ah,
dude, okay, we can get like real like Steins Gatey about this. So what if Aaron, like, knowing that he would be a Titan one day, went back to the first Titan ever, where he found a Titan that could travel time, travel back in time, planted that seed. I don't know where he got the seed. He found the seed. He planted it like thousands of years before Ymir got to that point. Then Ymir fell into the tree, started this whole thing, so that way she could enforce her will upon Eren, and we wouldn't know whose character or whose motivations we were following the entire time. But in the end, it would all be because of Eren, who was controlled by Ymir. You see? It makes sense, Kiko.
big brain.
Big fucking brain. Um, it's funny, right? Like, these are the questions you think need to be answered. Like, when you think of now that everything's like laid out, the walls and the rumbling and the fucking titans, they all seem superficial now. Now I want to know where the fucking semen centipede comes from. That's what I want to know. Who the fuck cares about these walls and shit? Where the fuck did this thing come from? Is this a fucking alien? Is this like the fucking origin of life? Like, what the fuck is this? It's just some fucking random ass thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally
Yeah.
just like comes out of nowhere. And it's the only one, I guess, because we haven't seen another one. It's so like, I'm flabbergasted by how ridiculous it is that we don't have an answer to this in a series that's about like answering shit and getting like the big questions done and like the mystique and the mystery and like finding the clues and, you know, exploring shit. But, you know, I guess we're just gonna sidestep the whole fucking semen centipede, the origin of life, the fucking thing that gives Ymir her powers. I guess we're gonna just sidestep all of that. We never fucking know what happens to that thing, by the way. It just kind of fucking disappears. Like, Reiner's fighting it, and then the Mikasa cuts off Aaron's fucking head, and it's just gone. And I believe, I'm fairly certain there's a part in there where Reiner's like, yeah, it just fucking disappeared, or whatever, or vanished. Am I wrong?
I mean, yeah, it was kind of disintegrated after they beat Aaron.
So that thing was like relying on Ymir, even though it attached itself to Ymir. Somehow. Let's continue.
Believe his character had been inexplicably ruined right at the end. For a time, I myself was one of the people who believed that. I hated the ending, and I hated what I felt like it had done to Eren. But as the months passed, and as I continued to discover,
I love that butt. Like, I was totally like you. I believe I hated it. I hated it so much.
He's one of us.
He's one of us, but no.
This gives credibility.
No,
This
no,
gives
no, no, no.
credibility to his stance.
See, if you're one of us, then there is no but. There is no but, right? Because we're, you know, I'm not what do you call it? I'm not avoiding conversation about this. I'm not avoiding like, I'm like fucking Steven Crowder. Change my mind. You know what I mean? Like, come change my fucking mind. I guarantee you won't. Not because I'm some blockheaded fuck, I forgot the line. Fuck. I'm not a blockhead, right? I'm not that stubborn. I will plead my case, and if your case is better, I will see it through. But don't come at me like, oh, I was just like you. I hated it. I hated the ending. And then a couple months later, I changed my mind. Then we're not on the same, like, if you've come to the same conclusion as us, like wasn't he was just talking about not judging it too soon or whatever, and then he was like, I was just like you after I read it. So you hated it. You jumped to a pretty quick conclusion, I guess. But whatever. I guess you're just a better man now, so
discussed the ending with more and more people and began to come to a realization. Not only is the
So that's what happened. He kept talking to the fandom, and they eventually fucking screeched at him long enough that he gave in and was like, "Yeah, I guess it is really good." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was talking to the fucking crazies over there that think Aaron is a good character at the end of this.
the belief that the ending was retconned entirely incorrect, but the ending we got was the only logical conclusion the story could have had.
There we go.
Ooh, ooh, I love it when people say that shit. I love it. I love it. So good. So good. What a limited imagination this man must have. What a simple mind this man must have. Oh, it's the only logical conclusion. You don't understand. Like, if he's talking about the last, like, maybe 2 seconds in the whole manga, like, maybe the last, very, very last panel that says the end, if he's talking about that, that's the only logical conclusion. Well, I guess, maybe, possibly, yeah. That might be the only logical conclusion. But if he's talking about the entire ending, like the last like 20 chapters, if he's talking that's the only logical ending we could have had, I'm just gonna have to call bullshit. And you have a very, very limited imagination. And not only that, it's just like you have no sense of storytelling or anything. I just a lack of fucking brain cells. How can you're only saying that because we got the ending that we got. You don't think about how things could have been. You don't think about how things might have been, how things might have been improved or changed. Fucking 2 lines of dialogue could have changed the whole scene. But no, we're at the only logical conclusion because this is the ending we got and I can't think of anything better. So, yeah, that is the only logical conclusion.
Hey, I'll be back. Some guy showed up.
God damn it.
I know.
Let's go.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if it's him or not, but he blocked my entire driveway, so I'm pretty sure it's this guy.
Hmm.
But I can't get out otherwise. He's just in his toolbox right now.
Let's see. So Jagger wants to know what he should be. I don't mind if he's a barbarian. Just saying we have 3 barbarians already. Or 2 barbarians already.
Yo, what if this guy kills me and you stream it on YouTube? Could you imagine the views?
Just about to say.
And then imagine that this guy would be able to respond. He'd have to be like, no, you're right. Attack on Titan ending was bad.
Yeah, he just fills your spot. Like, dude, that was shit. Just like, thank you.
I'm pretty sure this is the guy. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing.
Alright, I'm just gonna keep going then.
More specifically, and what I'm going to be focusing on in this video, is that Aaron's conclusion was
Yeah,
not
has
only
it knocked on
logical
my
and
door?
natural, but also fantastic, inventive writing that truly elevated his character to a level very few could have foreseen.
Oof. That's gross.
All right, cool.
Some fucking gross ass shit. Did you hear that, Kiko? Okay, I guess the guy's there. So the idea that Aaron is a well thought out character is not a conflicting retard. Ooh, can't say that on YouTube. Um, is someone who has been thought out and properly moved in every single facet, properly just tweaked just enough in every aspect to be the most perfect, ideal Aaron that we could have gotten. Like, does this guy not realize that like most of what Aaron has done is through the will of Ymir? Like, Aaron, for a good portion of this, does not have like any kind of character or self motivation. It's all through the will of Ymir and the will of future Aaron, I guess, or past Aaron. I don't know, because it doesn't make any sense. Because there's a good portion of it where Aaron's not even sure if he's the one in control, if he's the one who wanted to do this in the first place. So how can you sit there and tell me Aaron's a perfect character? He's so immaculate when we're not even sure if he's the one that was doing the stuff. But I digress.
No matter how you feel about the ending or Aaron's conclusion, for the next hour and a half, I'd like to ask you to forget everything you think you know about the series.
No. No, I'm not gonna forget everything I know about the series. What? Of course, yes. Someone doing a video fucking essay format would be like, oh, you need to forget everything you know about the story that you're trying to critique and review, and you need to just forget everything about it. Just need to forget about it. Forget about it. These people, man, I don't understand them. I really don't. You want me to forget everything I know about the series? I'm sure you're gonna say, except for, but no.
So,
Do what?
how's it going?
So he just told me to forget everything I know about the series.
Oh,
The classic video essay guy. Classic. Just don't focus on the story. Forget everything you know about Attack on Titan. Focus on this one tiny little facet and realize how amazing it is out of context. Let's scroll it back real
To
quick.
a level very few could have
okay.
foreseen.
How was that?
Okay, well, I'm not gonna continue it if you're not here.
Well, I mean, like, I'd like to be here, but he's still in the middle of everything. I guess I'll just join back when he's done.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take my dogs out real quick since you're
Okay. It just
AFK.
feels like it gets worse and worse the more the video goes on.
Yeah,
And what are we at the 5 minute mark? I don't know if we're even that far.
we're 4 minutes in or something like that.
Jesus Christ. Imagine how the ending's gonna be.
Ugh.
What is he gonna say to summarize all of this?
It was immaculate ending. Attack on Titan has made me such a big man. My penis is so hard.
And you were wrong about everything. If
You
don't
were
like it.
wrong about everything. You're just a hater. Oh, don't hate. Attack on Titan is great. It's been wonderful. It's been a great part of my 8 years or something like that. I don't know.
All right, everybody.
Okay, I'll be back. Pico, you there? Just a solo host just holding this thing together. Okay, well,
No matter how you feel about the ending or Aaron's conclusion, for the next hour and a half, I'd like to ask you to forget everything you think you know about the series. Understanding Aaron takes not only a deep dive of the entire story,
I have such a problem with that. I have such a problem with that. Just forget about everything. Just forget about it. Just forget about everything you know.
ending or Aaron's conclusion, for the next hour and a half, I'd like to ask you to forget everything you think you know about the series.
Oh, I'm sorry. How silly of me. Everything I think I know about the story, because obviously what I really know and what I think I know and what I've read are all completely fucking separate things. Right, yes. How silly of me to even hearken to the idea that I might have some kind of insinuation about what this fucking story's about. Silly, silly me.
Understanding Aaron takes not only a deep dive of the entire story, but also an open mind and a willingness to reconsider your preconceptions and past expectations. If you can do that, I think you'll
So basically it's like, you know, taking everything into account. It's what you gotta do to really know Aaron. I would argue I was doing that the moment I started reading this manga. You know, absorbing the story, taking things into account. Yes, this is what you do when you read a story. Yes. Like, dude, if you just want to come out and say like you like the ending, then you can say that. You can absolutely come out and say, I have no problem with people coming out and saying they like the ending. That is not the part that bothers me. The part that bothers me is what this guy is doing, in which he is conflating him liking the ending with the ending being good. Because you can't just like things that are bad or that aren't very good. You obviously everyone, every single person ever likes things that are good, no matter what. It's just how it is. The prequels are very, 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 very good because I like them. I like Obi-Wan and Anakin, and I like R2-D2 and C-3PO, and I somewhat like the cheesy dialogue between Padme and Anakin. It's like I have the world's biggest fucking slab of cheddar on the Star Wars sandwich right now. That's how cheesy it is. So it must be very, very good for me to like it. No arguments. This is what this guy is doing. I know the prequels are not very good. I know a lot of people don't like it. I like them. I like watching them. They're fun. They're good for me. I like them. But I can separate good shit between bad shit. And sometimes bad shit's funny, or sometimes bad shit's just entertaining. For one reason or another, it's just that way. This is bad shit. And this is the kind of bad shit I don't like. It's a whole lot of fucking nothing. You know, you have these grand fucking battles. And what do they amount to? You know, a whole lot of fucking nonsense. Just nonsense. You know, I'd rather have smaller scale battles that mean something, that make a lot of sense, that impact everyone in some way. But that's not what we got. You know, Aaron can stomp out 80% of the fucking earth. And you don't think? For God. Ooh. People are gonna be upset about this one. If anyone ever fucking watches this. There was a man in the 1940s, a German man, by the name of Adolf. He grew to power, had a regime, took over Germany, ruled with, you know, great propaganda and fucking just insane. I don't know how else to say it other than political charisma in one terrible way or another. And he fucked up the world. Now, he didn't even kill 80% of the world. I would have to go back and look at these statistics, but I can almost assuredly say he did not kill 80% of the entire world. Aaron killed 80% of the fucking world. Declared war on Marley. Killed the fuck, I can't remember his name. Fuck. Guy we thought who was the Warhammer Titan. He's just a brother. Killed him in front of hundreds and hundreds of people and world leaders. Killed world leaders at that same event. To this day, people still talk about Germany. Like, you know, like, what is Germany known for? One of the great world wars. Well, technically they're known for both, but I mean, one of them's specifically because of one man. And you're telling me that people from Marley would not just straight up fucking kill all the audience? What proof do the Marleyans have that the Eldians are not just gonna fucking kill them, that they don't have the Titan powers? And if they don't have the Titan powers, why are they not killing them? It is honestly flabbergasting to me. Someone's coughing up a hairball. Or did you just have the hiccups? I guess you just had the hiccups. Okay. Don't throw up, please. You look like you got into something you weren't supposed to. Anyways. The Marleyans hate the Eldians. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like, the Marleyans would have their dogs maul little girls to death if they're an Eldian. They injected them with the serum and tossed them off fucking walls and shit. And these aren't like, and it's not just the ones from the coup. Because there's no way it could be. There's way too many Titans. There's like, what, like 20, maybe 30 fucking people in the coup that we saw. So they were just haphazardly fucking injecting people with the serum and tossing them off walls if they're Eldian. didn't really matter if they're part of the coup or not. They just, I believe it's something that they just did for fun. Because as we have clearly seen, Marlians hate Eldians. It's apparent. Something that Eren doesn't have. Anyways. And it's just, it's ridiculous to think that the Eldians would let, or the Marlians would let the Eldians go, be free, not just shoot them on the fucking spot like they were going to like 5 minutes earlier. Especially since they just went through a fucking traumatic experience, having the fucking Eldians transform into Titans right in front of them. Like, do the Marlians really understand like how the whole Ymir thing works? Like, do they have an in-depth understanding of how that works? And do they understand that all Eldians don't have the ability just to transform into Titans whenever they want, and that's just haphazardly controlled by whoever has the founding Titan powers? Do they understand that? Because if not, it would be very confusing to see all these Eldians just transform into fucking Titans right in front of you as they're held at gunpoint. It seems very confusing, and then they transform back, and you're not expecting them to do it again. It might be that Eren is dead, but really, what does that do? What do we know? You know, like how in depth is their knowledge over Titans and everything about that? Because for all they know, the Eldians are just plotting again. Like, they're just plotting and waiting for their chance to fucking round them up and just kill them as Titans. Eren is a fucking idiot. He left his people, his race, in the hands of Marlians. And I don't believe Eren could tell what would happen after that, because everything's gone after that point. Paz is gone after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no way possible that Eren could know. And there's not really a reason why Eren should be a fucking bird. It's pretty nonsensical. I think the community at this point has just accepted that Eren's a fucking bird now that watches over Mikasa as she fucking just begrudgingly fucking wishfully thinks about Eren's fucking schlong every fucking night. And he fucking thinks about freedom. I don't know.
I think you'll find that Eren's arc is a fascinating piece of character writing grounded in
Griffith from Berserk is an interesting character. Guts from Berserk is an interesting character. Casca from Berserk is an interesting character. Fucking man, I don't even know. You should have so many examples. You got Edward and Alphonse Elric. You have their mentor. Sorry, I can't remember her name. She's an interesting character on her own, as a side character. Far more interesting than Eren, who has no motivation at all, because everything he has ever done has been the will of Ymir, right? Yes, because that's how the story explains it. You know, and I know this is an Eren discussion, but like, just some of the side characters, like after a certain point, like, you just start to see the character, just one beat character traits that they're just nothing. Mikasa is just a fucking blank plate of fucking nothing. It's like, yeah, when she's doing stuff, I guess it's cool, but like, when she opens her mouth, I just fucking zone out. She has nothing interesting to say other than, oh, Eren, oh, Oni-chan. Like, ever since you wrapped this scarf around me, Like, I don't care about the fucking scarf. Like, I'm tired of hearing about the fucking scarf. Like, I think you're focusing on the wrong thing, lady. Your pseudo brother boyfriend is a fucking maniac. He's a fucking serial killer. He's a genocide. He is the genocide. And you just, oh, she loves him so much. As what? As a brother? As a fucking lover? Because as a brother, I mean, sure, but that's not what she wants, and that's not very convincing. Their relationship is so fucking, it's pathetic. And this goes to Aaron too. I mean, he just has done nothing for it. And I don't really care if they get together or not. I really don't. That's not what I'm here for. I know there's a lot of Mikasa and Aaron shippers. I know there's a lot of Historia and Aaron shippers. I don't fucking care. Honestly, both be a waste because Aaron's in the fucking relationship. It'd be stupid if it was Mikasa and Aaron, because Mikasa's a blank fucking nothing. Aaron's a fucking little whiny cuck boy. Armin also just becomes a whiny little punk bitch fucking annoying little cunt boy. It's pathetic. I mean, for a good portion, it's just so annoying how whiny he is. And you can say like, oh, he stood up to Aaron after he said those things to Mikasa. Okay. And what did he do about it? Like, he tried to fight Aaron, then he got his ass kicked, and then what did he do after that?
Hello.
I mean, hello.
What's up?
I've been ranting to myself. This guy is something else.
The maintenance guy came in, and he couldn't fix it, AJ.
He couldn't fix it?
No.
Wow.
I feel like Walter White laughing at the end of that one episode. Oh my god.
That's garbage. Sorry.
I know. I mean, I don't blame him because that washer hose had been on there for several years.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least 4. And it's just he couldn't get it off. I mean, he tried to saw it off and it still wouldn't come off. And then he turned on he's like, I'm gonna get a bucket just in case water spills out everywhere. And he's like, oh, the water doesn't work apparently. He's like, shit. I was like, oh, okay, that's good to know. The water wouldn't even work anyways. And he's like, oh, I am so sorry about that. And he's like, I'm surprised you're not pissed or angry at me right now. And I'm like, bro, I'm pretty chill. I can do laundry somewhere else. It's fine. Even though I'm really upset.
Just do manual washing. Just wash it in like a bucket or something, and then hang it on a clothes rack.
True. I was just like, it's fine. Like, can you at least try the thermostat? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, that's not compatible. I was like, God fucking damn it! I just spent $250 on his thermostat. So now I gotta go return that.
No.
But he said he'd get me a new one because the one that I have, when he tried to set the temperature, it doesn't set the temperature for heat.
Okay.
So it says 44 degrees and you can't set it higher or lower. And so the fan blows constantly because it's trying to set it to 44 and it never turns off. So it's kind of a waste of electricity.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, just get me a new one and just fix it later, I guess. And he's like, okay. I was like, whatever, I don't care. Upset.
Well, on the plus side, do you want to get back to reviewing this guy's stupid ass video?
Yeah, sure.
Because he makes some great points.
Like what? How far did you get?
Like a minute further than you did. I was sitting here contemplating his genius.
Like what? Let me see.
Alright, you ready for this?
Not only logical and natural, but also fantastic, inventive writing that truly elevated his character to a level very few could have foreseen.
You see, Kiko, Aaron's character arc was just so phenomenal and fantastic. We mere mortals, we stupid little pilgrims, not pilgrims, what do you call those? Peasants. We're just peons, Kiko. You don't understand. We couldn't fathom the depth and insanity of Aaron's greatness. How woe to us unlearned and us just fucking dirt mongrels. We just roll around in the mud because we don't know the greatness of Aaron. No, I'm just so ready for him to show us how wrong we are, Kiko. I'm just ready for it. Ready?
Ready for his hard hitting points.
No matter how you feel about the ending or Aaron's conclusion, for the next hour and a half, I'd like to ask you to forget everything you think you know about the series.
Okay.
That was my reaction. Okay. That was literally like, all right. See, Kiko, this is what they love to do. This is what they love to do. They want to be like, everything you think you know, forget about it. The story, forget about it. Don't think about anything. Think about nothing. Watch this video and click on the subscribe button and then leave the video. And then don't ever think again.
Wow.
This is their plan. He wants us to forget about everything we think we know about Attack on Titan and focus on a tiny little facet of it. Forget all the context with it. Forget the setting, the meaning around it. Forget the people around it. Just focus on a tiny little aspect. And you'll see his point and you'll appreciate the ending. As long as you're a fucking idiot.
Bet.
Understanding Aaron takes not only a deep dive of the entire story, but also an open mind and a willingness to reconsider your preconceptions and past expectations.
That's also about the reaction I had. So you know what he said right there? You want me to summarize what he said without sounding so pretentious?
Go ahead.
To understand Aaron, you have to read the story. To understand Aaron, you have to read the story. That's what he said.
I was thinking he was saying, in order to understand Aaron, you have to be able to have an open mind and agree that it was good, even if it wasn't.
Yeah, basically, if you think it's bad, think it's good, and then you'll understand Aaron.
Yeah, because people that think that the ending is bad, even if they came to their own opinions, don't have an open mind.
Well, you see, this guy didn't come to his own opinion. That's the problem. He might have originally, and then he just got kind of like circulated into other people's opinions, and then he never
probably saw
left.
the YouTube videos shitting on it, and
People
praising it.
He was like, I don't like people shitting on Attack on Titan. The problem is that people probably shit on it too hard for this guy. And he was like, that's not fair. I love Attack on Titan. The ending was bad, but I love Attack on Titan. And so he's trying to salvage what he can out of this fucking dumpster fire of an ending. But look, this shit I found is not so burnt. That's the plan right now.
Jeez.
If you can do that, I think you'll find that Aaron's arc is a fascinating piece of character writing grounded in philosophy, with a lot to say about the meaning of freedom.
Oof. So, while you're gone, I got up to this point and I was like, you have Griffith from Berserk. You have Guts from Berserk. You have Casca from Berserk. You have Edward and Alphonse Elric. You have their mentor. All these characters much more interesting than Aaron. And every single one of them goes through something that defines their character. The Elric brothers are curious little buggers. Unfortunately, they get a little too curious, and after their mom dies. Spoiler alert. And they try and do something that they know is forbidden, but they're willing to go to the ends of the earth to bring back the one they love. And in doing so, they fuck themselves. And so, especially Edward feels responsible for how his brother ended up, and he, more often than not, completely feels like it is his fault that they're in the position they are.
My intention.
Did you start it?
No.
Oh, it just started by
I
itself.
know I did.
Oh, okay.
But I pressed the X. Look.
Intention with this video is to definitively
X.
close the book on the
Okay.
controversy.
I don't know what you're doing.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Should go back. You know, these characters stand for something. Now Aaron, this man says, stands for freedom.
Does he?
The character that might be the least free in the entire series stands for freedom. And I can almost guarantee you I know how he's going to spin this. He's going to be like, oh, Aaron set everyone else free. But we'll have to see how that goes. We'll have to see.
Fascinating piece of character writing grounded in philosophy, with a lot to say about the meaning of freedom. My intention with this video is to definitively close the book on the controversies and the many, many misunderstandings that have prevailed in the discourse surrounding Aaron.
You see, this one man alone is going to shut everybody the fuck up, and they're going to like Attack on Titan no matter what.
Yes.
You just watch him, boyo. He's coming for you. He's about to get your ping. What?
Of freedom. My intention with this video is to definitively close the book on the controversies and the many, many misunderstandings that have prevailed.
Oh, and yeah, of course. You know, clear up the misunderstandings, Kiko. We're just stupid peons. We can't possibly understand the depth of this story. He's speaking to you specifically, Kiko. He's saying you are too dumb to understand the story, and you've misunderstood everything.
In the discourse surrounding Aaron. This video is also designed to be timeless, able to be watched no matter whether you're watching this after the anime is concluded or if it's still ongoing.
I don't think this video's in a time zone, no, timeline. I don't think it's a timeline at all. I don't think you should watch this video maybe ever. Unless I'm reviewing it. Then you should definitely watch me review this stupid fucking video.
Once again, remember to keep an open mind as you join me on this exhaustive look at.
Remember to like my video no matter what, because I'm saying words, and I think you should agree with me.
At almost every aspect of Aaron's characterization, as I try to uncover the meaning of what Isayama truly wanted to say with his writing.
Don't forget to, or I'm gonna go over almost every aspect of Aaron, except the parts that like don't agree with what I'm gonna say. Then I'm gonna leave those out conveniently. Do you got anything to say to that?
Not really. I mean, I don't know. He just seems like he's speaking holier than thou.
Yeah, well, I would definitely say that. He's well, Ezekiel, he's the one to clear up all the misunderstandings you and me have had about the ending of this manga. See, we didn't get it. He got it, but we didn't.
And remember, while these are the conclusions I've reached, you're free to disagree, and I encourage you to comment any differing interpretations you have after watching.
Yes, comment down below, subscribe, like the video, ring that bell, subscribe to my Patreon, give me $100, suck my fucking dick.
His Patreon is just him coming to fucking Aaron.
I mean, probably. Him coming to Mikasa, kissing Aaron's dead fucking head.
That's a great resolution. Oh my god, the scarf is bringing it all back.
Oh man, scarf.
Before anything else, we need to be on the same page about Aaron's arc spanning the first 2/3 of the story. Aaron's character is impossible to understand.
Impossible to understand, huh?
Alright, hold on. Let's let him finish.
Okay.
Let's let him finish. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt that this is just going to be stupid.
Unless you have a full comprehension of his motivations and character growth prior to the time skip.
Wasn't
Okay.
it pretty simple? He wanted to kill all the Titans.
He said something pretty stupid, Kiko.
Yeah.
He said something. The problem is he said something so fundamental that you really shouldn't have to say it out loud unless you want to say it in a very complicated way to make it sound pretentious. What he said, Kiko, if you want me to summarize it, he said you can't understand Aaron, right? Unless you've watched
Uh-huh.
the anime. It's exactly what he just said. He said you can't understand Aaron unless you've read the manga or the anime.
Wow.
It's amazing, you know. This truly is a groundbreaking manga that you can't understand a character without reading it. Insane. Just spectacular.
While you may feel like you already have a solid understanding of this, there's a good chance that you've missed crucial aspects of his character that will drastically impact your understanding later on.
And now he's just calling us out. He knows that we skipped from episode 1 to reading the last page of the manga. He got us, Kiko. He got us.
Yeah, that's good.
I would highly recommend not skipping through any of this, no matter how well you feel like you already understand it.
Oh, I'm not skipping through this. I can't wait to see your just fucking retarded interpretation of Aaron and all the events that take place in the last third of the fucking story. I can't wait to see how stupid you look.
With that out of the way, let's begin.
Mistaken freedom. All right.
Attack on Titan began as a very simple story, and Aaron's characterization
Began as a very simple story. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop you right there because me and Kiko just literally went back and rewatched a good portion of the first episode. I would not call that a simple story. There are very many questions that you're like, what the fuck? Like, when you first see the fucking Colossal Titan, you're not like, oh, what a simple story. Ah, yes, classic storytelling. Giant Titan. They didn't even call them Titans. Or maybe they did, but I can't remember if they said it in the episode or not. But, oh, giant skinless monster man. Yes, of course. Why didn't I think of that?
matched that simplicity.
What's your
In the
YouTube channel?
beginning,
This one's Casual Critic. That's the one I'm streaming on.
People are asking me for your YouTube.
Who's asking for my YouTube?
My fans.
Okay. Jagger wants to be a druid wood elf.
Okay.
So he's talking about Aaron's character being as simple as the story.
Yeah.
I have some problems with just about everything he's said so far.
Uh-huh.
And this part is the same. I have problems. So he claims the story to be pretty simple at this point. Within the first episode, there are already very many questions.
Yeah.
First of all, like going back in time, like 2000 fucking whenever, fucking 14. When did the anime start?
14, I think. It's
14?
14, I believe.
2014, when the first episode of Attack on Titan aired. There are several things you are wondering about. First of all, what was that flash forward that just happened? Why does Aaron act like he had a premonition of the fucking future? And then, you got the Survey Corps. What the fuck are Titans? And what are they doing? Why are they here? Where do they come from? And then, towards the end, you see the Colossal Titan. And at the time, you're probably just thinking, why is there a giant skinless monster? And why was there a flash of lightning? I wouldn't call that very simple. I would call that.
Simple would have been had it not shown any of that and just been them in the village, and this big wall, and you're wondering what the wall is, but that's it.
Yeah,
Like, why did it have a wall? Doesn't
simple.
matter.
Like I can see it now, like in like people making like animes today. Um, there's I can see it as an isekai in my head. Like some fuckface gets transported to a different world, and they start explaining all the rules. And the rules are, oh, there are these titans, created by the goddess Ymir. They don't. Goddess Ymir doesn't have any free will. She's actually controlled by the will of King Fritz for some reason, and she just sends a bunch of titans to attack these people who have built a wall. Who actually didn't build the wall. Actually, the wall is made of giant titans. Now, if it were laid out like that, you'd just be thinking, well, what the fuck? Like, this is super weird. I don't understand any of it. Not because it's a mystery, but because it just doesn't make sense. And that's where we're at. We know all the answers, and it doesn't make sense. Also, Semen Centipede. Because I have to reiterate that. Sebastian is in the chat.
I'm glad how you caught that somehow. I guess YouTube's delayed.
What?
He said he ain't got fans.
No. But yeah, so let's trudge on with this simple ass story and this simple character.
We need to make it like a
single
part
goal was
3
to wipe out the
series. There's no way we
Titans,
finish
the
this
monsters
one.
that had stolen
probably
humanity's freedom. But Eren didn't question what the Titans were, or why they did what they did.
Wait, what?
What?
Is that true? Does no one, well, I guess we're talking specifically about Eren. Does Eren never question where the Titans come from? Or why they're there? I feel like he does. Isn't that part of the reason why he wants to be part of the Survey Corps? Or am I just...
I'm trying to think back, because, I mean, like, it's kind of vague to put that there. Like, say he never questioned the Titans.
Well, I'm not a Sith, so I don't go in absolutes. But if I did, I'd say that's probably bullshit. I mean,
he might
aside from having to go back and read every single panel again, I don't know if that's true. But I don't know what that has to do with anything. So let's go back and...
In the beginning, his single goal was to wipe out the Titans, the monsters that had stolen humanity's freedom.
Right.
But Eren didn't question what the Titans were, or why they did what they did. Eren fought them because he knew that once the Titans were gone, humanity would have its freedom back.
Okay. I might agree with you that Eren was pretty simple-minded in the fact that he just wanted to kill all the Titans. But he's not like just single-minded entity that just non-stop kills Titans. He's not like Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer's like, I'm going to kill goblins. If there aren't goblins anywhere, I'm not going to do anything. But if you tell me there's a goblin there, then I'll go fucking rip its head off with my bare hands. Eren, on the other hand, is like an actual person. Not saying that Goblin Slayer is not a person, but he has way less motivations than Eren does.
With this,
I mean, it's kind of why Eren's become a meme about freedom, because like just from the beginning, he's always talked about freedom. But I mean, it is one of his main character motivations. But
yeah.
Another big part of it is stuff like getting to his father's basement and stuff like that. That's set up from the very beginning also.
He's like, I'm gonna show you this when I get back, and he's like, okay.
And it just never does.
Eventually, he goes back after like a bajillion chapters.
Yeah.
With this baseline characterization established, every new development of the story began to test his single-minded understanding little by little. While he had thought their enemies were simple monsters, it became clear that there was something more behind the Titans when it was revealed that he himself had the power to become one of them.
Yeah. Why are we talking about this?
I'm not sure.
Later, he learned that his own friends were the ones who had destroyed the walls. Soon after, it was revealed that every single one of the mindless Titans was a human trapped against their will. And by the Uprising arc, it was clear that the greatest threat to humanity was itself.
Greatest threat to humanity. I mean, I guess. In what context? Because if we're talking about just like a straight up fight, I think the Titans are the greatest threat. But if we're talking about like controlling people behind the scenes, then yes, I guess humans would be the biggest threat. But humans is a pretty general answer. Are we talking about Marlians? Or the Reese family? Or like what are we talking about here?
I think everything.
Just everything. Humans are just terrible. Just humans are terrible. Because that's every story ever.
Humans
Humans
are
are the
good,
enemy.
AJ? I mean,
The Titans are good, actually. We should just kill all the humans. The Titans should be good.
Every one of these developments raised more questions about the nature of their conflict. Who were they actually fighting against? Eren began to ask himself that question. And that question would be answered upon reaching the basement.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm so glad he's cleared so much of this up, because for a long time I thought I misunderstood all these story points. I'm glad this holy saint has come down to bless us with this profound new knowledge that we just completely missed.
In the basement were books that contained the truth of their world that had been kept hidden. This discovery would flip Eren's perception of the world on its
Oh my god, they're holding hands. Oh my god, oh kawaii.
head, forcing him to confront his own
Foreshadowing.
worldview, and drastically altering the direction of his
It's that
character arc
scarf.
from that point on. To understand why it affected him to such an extreme, and before we can talk about the basement, we also need to understand Eren's twisted concept of freedom and what exactly being free meant to him.
Twisted idea of freedom. Okay, I guess we don't know when he's talking about, but I feel like Eren had a pretty simple idea of freedom in the beginning.
To kill all the Titans.
No, this has definitely become convoluted towards the end. But for a good portion of it, I feel like it's been pretty simple, like pretty straightforward. Just kill your enemies so you can be free. Like I said, it gets a little muddled towards the end. When he stops doing that, he stops killing his enemies to be free.
Growing up, Eren was a normal kid who didn't question the world around him, and he accepted things as they were.
Huh. He didn't question things. Like, he didn't want to know what his dad was hiding in the basement. He didn't want to join the Survey Corps to, like, explore outside. He just was a stupid kid.
He didn't have the characteristic drive for freedom that we know him for. However,
Because he's, like, 5 here.
Yeah.
It's an exaggeration, but he's, like, what, 10? Lo and behold, a 10-year-old doesn't have the drive for freedom that he did when he was fucking, like, 20 or 30. Like, lo and fucking behold. He didn't go through a whole fucking life and terrible experiences. What a stupid and pathetic 10-year-old that he didn't fucking have the drive for freedom.
However, he was exceptionally bored with the uneventful world in front of him. Despite that, he had no
Which is why he wanted to join the Survey Corps. Which is why he was interested in the Survey Corps.
aspirations to go outside the walls, nor to join the Scouts. What we need to uncover.
Wait, what?
However, he was exceptionally bored with the uneventful world in front of him. Despite that, he had no aspirations to go outside the walls, nor to join the scouts.
What? That's contradicting
need to
himself, isn't it? Hold up. No aspiration. But didn't it show several times that as a child he still wanted to join the Survey Corps?
I
even
was
before?
fairly certain he was like interested in the Survey Corps.
Because he saw them come back from
Yeah,
raid, and
there-
he's like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" But he didn't actually see how depressed and upset they were when they came back with so many.
Yeah, I
captured
thought that was like the whole point of showing that was like, oh wow, look at the Survey Corps. Like, I wonder what they. What? Maybe that's a problem with the manga then, because if he does say that in the anime, but he seems very interested in the Survey Corps, then I feel like that's a contradiction.
Uncover then is when and why Aaron's transfixion on freedom began. Aaron's desire for freedom is an inherent part of him, but it's something that wasn't awakened until the day he realized that he wasn't free. That realization
I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't really think about the freedom they have until it's taken away. I don't feel like that's just an Aaron. I feel like a lot of these things could have probably been passed off to like anybody. Like anybody could have shared these characteristics. Like I'm starting to wonder when he's gonna get into like Aaron specific things to talk about. Because just saying, oh, he didn't have a drive for freedom until his freedom was taken away. Well, yes, as just about everybody is now. I don't think everyone had a drive for freedom when they already had freedom. But who am I?
occurred when Armin showed him a book about the outside world, and he learned about Armin's dream of exploring it.
あの時、お前の話を聞いてお前の目を見るまでは、お前は楽しそうに夢を見てるのに、俺には何もなかった。そこで初めて知ったんだ。俺は不自由なんだって。
Classic Aaron.
Classic Aaron. Never free.
Aaron was entranced as he listened to Armin speak about his dream, but he didn't understand what exactly Armin was captivated by.
Oh yeah, and I really like that anime
Armin's dream
too.
was simple.
Do what?
I really like that anime too. Whatever y'all were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like the anime too.
I was gonna say, Cody, one of my professors really liked it, and I didn't expect him to watch anime. I don't think he knew what anime was, and he just watched it, and he was like, "This is really cool."
Ooh.
But now he's in the woods, so I can't talk to him about it.
He wanted to explore the outside world. The things in the book looked amazing to him, and he was driven by a sense of wonder at what could be out there. Aaron did not have the same sense of wonder. What Aaron saw in the book and how he interpreted it was fundamentally different.
I'm not entirely sure what to be saying right now. He's just kind of recapping the story right now.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling curiosity, for Aaron, the book only showed him his own lack of freedom. Instead of seeing wondrous landscapes filled with mystery, Aaron only saw the vast empty earth that had been taken from them. He felt no wonder nor curiosity.
Oh, he's a conqueror. That's what he is. He's a what do you call those in Fate Stay Night? The heroes or whatever.
The not phantasms. The
You know what I'm saying? He's like the conqueror. He's like Alexander the Great.
oh yeah.
He's a conqueror. He sees all this free land. He's like, why haven't we taken this shit yet?
At the prospect of seeing it, he only
Are y'all
wanted the
watching
freedom that
anime?
taking it back would give him.
We're watching a review that someone did, and I'm critiquing the review.
Making fun of him.
Yeah, not so much
Right.
critiquing, just like
This is
has,
actually a podcast or no?
yeah. I mean, we're live right now.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're
No,
good.
you're good.
I'm fine. We gotta break it up anyways, because if I play somebody else's video for too long, YouTube will strike me. So,
He doesn't realize he's been striked 3 times already since he started streaming.
Yeah, I'm already. They already took down my channel. They're like your critique was too based.
him.
You know what,
Later,
AJ?
Aaron thought more about what he had
What?
learned, and his hatred began to
I'll
grow.
stream, and then you
Aaron
say
had
come to
learned
my
from the
stream.
book what had been taken
And we'll
from
go
them,
back and forth.
There you go.
and that he was not free. By extension, Aaron decided, it must mean that someone who was able to see the things that had been taken away from them was free.
I feel like he's making it sound more complicated than what it is.
That's fine.
For Aaron, freedom was something inherent that everyone had at the moment of birth and could only be taken away by outside factors.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I was born in America, but I feel like that's like a fundamental thing of freedom is like you have it until someone takes it away. That just seems kind of self-evident to me. And again, not a Aaron specific thing.
He's got to stretch out for the YouTube views.
He really is just trying to stretch his shit out as much as he fucking can.
I need him to do my essays.
Just by purely saying obvious things over and over again. Oh, freedom is something you have until someone takes it away. Oh, yeah, I guess that is how that works. Couldn't just, oh my God.
Aaron sought freedom because he was born with it, and it had been taken away from him.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it just keeps saying, like, very, very fucking obvious things. Like, the reason Aaron was searching for freedom was because someone took away his freedom. Now he has no freedom, so he wants freedom. So he goes for it.
I just want him to start
That would
talking
become the
about more
motivation
serious
for Aaron's
things.
actions going forward.
Kiko, I think we can assert that this is probably going to be most of the fucking video. Is him saying really stupid things. Or saying really, really obvious things that sound stupid.
Why don't we just make our own critique of the series?
We could, but I'm having fun doing this.
Okay.
The fight would be driven by the
Plus, if we're going to do that, then we'd probably have to make like an actual like whole script and whatnot.
All right.
I mean, I guess we could just also have just like a discussion if you wanted to, but
I think a script is better.
desire to see the empty,
or at least
free
some
world that lay beyond
bullet
the
points
walls.
or something like that.
In fact, Aaron's desire for freedom can be summed up as the desire to see what was depicted in Armin's book.
I think we already I think you already said this, but whatever.
Yeah,
Because for Aaron, freedom itself is what was depicted in the book, and he would not be free until he had seen it for himself.
I'm cringing.
In a sense, Aaron's drive for freedom was a corruption of Armin's childlike wonder.
It's still talking about the same scene.
If I see this book one more fucking time.
For each of them, freedom meant something vastly different. For Armin, it represented curiosity, wonder, and hope.
The book is
main
just a swing
values of
set
the
from
Survey
Naruto.
Corps. But for Aaron, freedom was something inherent that had been stolen from him.
He literally just said this. He literally said it word to word, just exactly the same. Oh my God. Oh, dude.
You go.
His lack of it brought him outrage towards their world. And this differing understanding of what they were fighting for would inevitably lead to conflict between the two of them.
You see, I was under the assumption the thing that had them run into conflicts was the fact that Aaron wanted to kill 80% of the world population. And Armin was like, that's not very cool, Mr. Krabs. What'd you say?
I said just 80%.
Or just 80%.
Pitting Aaron against the Survey Corps and what they fought for.
地下室にあったものは何だ？希望だったのか？それとも絶望か？
After reaching the basement, the truth of the outside world was finally revealed. In the ideal scenario Aaron had constructed in his mind, this would be the end of his journey and the point at which he would finally be free.
Wait, what?
The truth of the outside world was finally revealed. In the ideal scenario Aaron had constructed in his mind, this would be the end of his journey and the point at which he would finally be free. Outside of the walls lies the world depicted in Armin's book. After defeating the Titans, humanity would retake their territory and finally be free. That's the happy ending that Aaron. That's the happy ending that.
Sorry, I'm just pausing. So, I'm just waiting for him to get on to the next point because I know it's coming. He's very close to saying it. He just keeps having to draw out his fucking paragraphs.
He comes back to the book.
Dude, don't.
that Aaron had envisioned for himself and for his friends. But Attack on Titan is not that kind of story. There was no such promised scenery outside of the walls. What was actually out there was a world much, much worse than anyone in the walls could have imagined. It was a world controlled by the same enemies who sent the Titans to slaughter them.
How did the Titans cross the sea?
Wasn't it like they can still go underwater and live?
I guess that's true because the rumbling happened that way.
Or maybe they did what, Annie and Bertolt did, and they brought humans, that were gassed, and then Zeke screamed when they were inland.
Yeah, but they were making Titans.
Like, don't you remember with the owl? They were making Titans back then by just injecting them and throwing them off that wall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They had serum from one of the original Titans.
Yeah, but then how did the Titans make it to Paradise Island?
Because they were already on there. That's what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
the people from Marley?
Yeah, the people from Marley brought the Titans to Paradise.
I thought they just dropped them off a wall and then the Titans walked there.
That's what I'm saying.
But how did they cross the sea?
That wall was at Paradise. The sea was behind the wall, wasn't it? You know what I'm saying?
I thought Grisha lived in Marley, do you not?
Grisha did, but they brought him to Paradise when he was a traitor. When they caught him and Dina, they brought them over there and injected most of them.
Okay. I really was confused. Okay. I don't know why I was so confused about that for a second.
A world in which they were thought of as monsters who needed to be wiped out. In a world in which children were fed alive to dogs.
Okay, see, I made this point earlier while you weren't here. So Marlians, right, hate Eldians so much that they take pleasure in feeding kids to dogs. That's enjoyment for them. These are the same people who at the end of the series were like, oh no, it's all good, Armin. We totally believe you that you're not still a Titan and that you're just trying to basically fucking coup d'etat us and fucking usurp our power and have complete control over us and subjugate us. We totally believe you. We're not just gonna totally just shoot you in the head because we think you're a fucking lying snake devil from fucking Paradise Island. You see where I'm having troubles with these two scenes? On one hand, Marlians are shown to be the most ruthless, terrible, fucking, just nauseatingly awful people to Eldians. And then, on the other hand, when they have the complete upper hand on aliens, they completely are okay with having a truce for no reason.
俺たちはまだ何も知らないんだよ。炎の水も、氷の大地も、砂の雪原も。きっと壁の外には、自由が。
At that moment, the truth set in. The freedom he had seen depicted in Armin's book had always been an idyllic fantasy that never existed. There had never been freedom past the walls. Aaron's journey until now had been one in which his view of the world had been constantly tested. And in the near future, he would come to understand that the people he thought of as his enemies were no different from himself. In other words, Aaron's journey had been one of gaining understanding and empathy. However, Aaron's pursuit of freedom was antithetical to the very understanding he had spent so long developing. Aaron's very idea of freedom was based on the assumption that their conflict was a simple one, in which defeating the Titans was enough to achieve freedom.
Would you agree with that, Kiko?
I mean, early on.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like this guy is really just kind of summarizing the entire story. Obviously, he told you in the very beginning not to skip around, even if you think you know Aaron. Obviously, that's just because he wants view time.
Well, we're giving it to him.
Well, yeah. He's just saying very obvious things right now. Like, obviously, what people want to hear about is the ending, because it's the ending that kind of fucks with all this. So,
But you have to forget everything, AJ. And
you
can't
you have to forget everything you think you know about Attack on Titan.
You can't get there if you just go to the ending.
Yeah.
You have to reconstruct
Aaron
your
had
mindset.
gained empathy, but he was still someone who inherently valued freedom above almost all else. And the freedom he sought did not exist in a complicated world like theirs. And with
So he has to kill 80% of the human population.
Only 80.
Only 80.
And with that contradiction, a dilemma had formed in Aaron's mind.
Kill
What a random
80% of the entire world population, or wipe out the audience.
What a random number.
Aaron's attempt to reconcile the difference between his ideal freedom and the reality of the world would become the new driving force of his actions.
You see, Kiko, his ideal version of freedom is he gets with Mikasa. And she doesn't fall for anybody else.
Not for at least 10 years.
At least 10 years. What a beta male cuck. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's not even like, it's laughably bad, but it's like also too cringy to talk about too long.
Such an amazing scene.
Knowing fully what freedom meant to
They
Aaron,
should have just ended it
we
there.
now grasp
I know. Would have been a completely different
Imagine
story.
it's like Isayama says that he can't finish the story, so he's gonna end it at that cliffhanger.
exactly what he was asking with this question. Aaron was not asking when the fighting would be over, but rather if the freedom he sought could be obtained if the outside world was wiped clean.
You know, weird thing is, like, he knows the answers to all these, because, you know, the will, Ymir, and Paz. So it's kind of weird he's asking these random ass questions when he knows exactly the answer. So
I thought he didn't know that till he touched. Oh, I guess at that point he would. I thought he didn't know that till he touched Historia.
he had touched the story by that point.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so the question's like irrelevant. So he's literally just doing it as like.
See, but it feels like he's jumping back and forth. I feel like he's talking about pre-Historia Aaron. Unless he's just wrong and he's talking about
Well,
post.
I'm just talking about Aaron in general. Like the question is like kind of pointless because he knows that exactly how everything's gonna go down. So there's not really a reason for him to ask if the enemies
Yeah.
are
Oh,
on
I
the other
see.
side
I
of
see.
water. You know, does what I guess.
Maybe Ymir told him to say that.
That's probably what it was because Aaron doesn't really have any motivation or character development. So
At that moment, Armin, in awe at the sight of the ocean, saw Aaron's expression. He didn't want to admit it, but he understood. He and Aaron did not share the same dream. Experiencing this simple moment was enough for Armin, but Aaron wanted something more. And that desire from Aaron brings us to the main topic of this video.
oh my god, we've gotten to the main topic.
Wow. How long
Gotten
did
to
that take?
fucking took
10, 11 minutes? Wow.
11 minutes to get to the topic of this fucking video.
Aaron could not accept that the world outside of the walls was different from the free world he had imagined. And because of that discrepancy, Aaron used the rumbling to destroy the world, not out of necessity, but because it was what he wanted to do.
Well, if you mean by what he wanted to do, and you mean by because of the will of Ymir, then yeah, I guess so. Because as I can point out very many times in the last chapter, he defers that it might have been the will of Ymir that actually caused him to do all those terrible and horrible things, and that he shouldn't be blamed, and that Mikasa shouldn't get with any other guy for at least 10 years. I think he chose 10 years because that's how long his bird lasts. His spirit bird thing.
Holy shit, that's big brain.
Like
I
after
thought he
10
was
years,
saying.
that bird just dies.
I thought you were saying 10 years. I thought he was just saying a random number.
I mean, he probably was. I'm probably giving it way too much credit.
Yeah, you're probably reaching. I was thinking maybe a more realistic number would have been when he would have died because he had a Titan shifter power, but
I don't know.
This revelation can be hard to believe at first, or even seem like an outright retcon. When you explore deep into Aaron's character, however, you begin to realize that this is the only place Aaron's story could have gone from the very beginning.
yikes. Didn't he say this earlier too?
He did. I mean, he said this. He said it almost word to word the exact same way. He was like, "Oh, this once you read the story, you realize it's the only logical conclusion that the story can come to." I mean, I don't know what to say. His statement earlier about not having a need to do it, but just wanting to. I would say it's the reverse. Actually, he needs to. He has to because it's the will of Ymir. Aaron doesn't want to. He wants to live with Mikasa. According to what he said at the very end. That's what he said. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He said that. He said very plainly he wanted to live with Mikasa. He didn't want her to move on. He wasn't even sure if he wanted to do any of this, that it might have been the will of Ymir. So,
And how this desire was the only logical endpoint of his obsessive desire for freedom. Whether or not you like this part of the story is ultimately subjective, but I believe that this is an incredibly well-written, fascinating, and unique character motivation that deserves to be acknowledged for what it is.
Yeah, me too. I completely agree that this should be, described as exactly what it is, and it's the will of Ymir. Because, as I say many times, Aaron has no character motivation or development at any point because everything is set in motion for him by future Aaron, ergo Ymir.
Yeah.
Yes.
While it could not be immediately appreciated by most after finishing the story for the first time, I believe that this is one of the greatest aspects of AoT and elevated Aaron to a truly timeless character.
He's timeless, alright. He is
but I feel the need to
timeless.
say this now.
He's forever
I am
going to
not
be a
saying
cuck
that
boy
the
now.
only reason Aaron did what he did was because it was what he wanted, but I am arguing that it was his primary motivation.
Oh, see, he's
but I feel the need
backstepping
to
now.
say this now. I am not saying that the only reason Aaron did what he did was because it was what he wanted.
He's backstepping now. He's backstepping already. Literally said that 1 minute ago. That was something he wanted to do, not something he had to do. Now he's backstepping and saying the complete opposite.
Yeah.
But I am arguing that it was his primary motivation. Like all complex characters, Eren has several layers of reasoning behind all of his actions, and I'm not going to ignore the rest of his characterization. We'll get to the rest as the video progresses. After
We can take a break
understanding
after
the
we get
true
to
meaning of
15
Eren's
minutes.
desire for freedom,
Yeah.
many events of the story retroactively make more sense and are recontextualized. I want to start by going over one of the most important of these moments, as well as one of the most important character dynamics in the series.
Rainer and Eren sitting in a tree. Kissing.
It's more like Rainer in a shotgun.
Damn, Kiko. You didn't have to fucking do it to him.
Got him.
So let's talk about the relationship between Eren and Reiner.
Oh my god, we finally got the part 2. I don't even know what part 1 was honestly about.
I don't even remember.
Guilty hero. Oh, I know what he's gonna do. It was because, Eren and Reiner are the same because Reiner did something that he feels guilty about, but he's a hero in his hometown or his home. And now Eren's doing something he's guilty about in his home. Get it?
Yeah, I get you. The
The
parallel,
relationship.
the paths.
Except, you gotta remember, Reiner did what he did for the
Without
sake
any like he did it, but he didn't really know the people of the town. He just kind of did it just because he was told.
well, you gotta remember, see, Eren, unlike Reiner, was influenced by Ymir.
Oh,
See, Reiner didn't have Ymir in his corner, so yeah, he's not the main character, so.
Many have said this before, but Eren and Reiner are truly two sides of the same coin, and understanding the actions of one will help us understand the actions of the other. To start, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page about Reiner, and his motivation for doing what he did. Reiner was born in the Liberio internment zone from an Eldian mother and a Marleyan father. Growing
Two sides of the same coin.
they're literally the same person.
Dude. I don't know. I feel like Reiner is much more regretful. Like, if you're just talking about the straight action of, like, destroying a town, like, I don't feel like that solely keeps Reiner and Eren, like, I don't think that makes them the two sides of the same coin. I don't think that makes them two peas in a pod, their motivations and how they feel afterwards are completely different. Eren, at the end of his fucking escapade of destruction after killing 80% of the world, it's just sad that he can't be with Mikasa and that Mikasa's gonna move on. So yeah, there's that. Reiner's just horribly guilt-ridden and upset that he did the atrocities that he did because he's a human being.
Growing up, his mother promised him that becoming an honorary Marleyan would let the two of them live with his estranged father. The status of honorary Marleyan was awarded to any warrior and their family, granting them permission to live outside of the internment zone. Honorary Marleyans were the exception to Eldian oppression. It was the one way for an Eldian to gain the acceptance and respect of Marley. With that in mind, Reiner devoted himself to becoming a warrior.
They played Ashes on
If
Fire
only
on
he
the
could become
scene.
Marley's hero, he thought, then surely he
Not
would
being
gain the
serious.
approval of his
I
father.
bet they did.
Going to him before the mission began, he realized that the acceptance he thought he would gain with his new role couldn't be found with his father. The notion that his dad would love him just because he was an honorary Marleyan now had been naive. But he told
Wow.
It's just
Yeah, that's a good motivation. You know, it's good motivation. You want to do it because you think your father will accept you after being estranged from him.
Then he doesn't.
And then he doesn't. Sucks. Sad. It's good. It's a good character moment.
Join the club.
himself, even if his father didn't love him, he could still become a hero to the entire world and gain acceptance that way, even if it wasn't with his father. He led the mission to destroy Wall Maria with that in mind. His devotion to his dream only increased from that point. He convinced himself that his new friends were the evil people that Marley had told him they would be. But as time passed, he knew more and more that it wasn't true, and that the propaganda had all been a lie.
Mm-hmm. Almost there, Kiko. Just one more minute. I won't make you suffer this man's insane ramblings any longer. At least for
I was
today.
gonna say we're gonna have to make this like a 10-20 part series because
I might just cut it off. I might just cut it off once he gets to part 2 for one section of it, and then we'll come back for we'll just keep coming back for the different parts.
I'm falling asleep because this man does not bring anything new to the table.
He also speaks in the same monotone voice, just like this. And
That's why I like
describes
British
everything
anime
just like
commentators
this.
because they're always going crazy.
He loved his new friends, and with them he even found acceptance. But even despite that, it was Reiner who made the decision to kill Marco in cold blood, and it was he who led the mission to destroy Wall Rose. His dream of becoming a respected hero of the world outweighed everything else, even leading him to cast aside what was right in front of him. And so Reiner betrayed his morals to seek what he wanted. But even still, after casting everything aside, Reiner could not obtain what he sought. In the end, after being rejected by the world, he had nothing left, and nothing to live for.
Him and his best friend.
Oh, see, it wasn't a shotgun, it was a rifle.
No, in the fucking manga, it was a shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Reiner's life's kind of fucked. His father hates him, even though he'd become an honorary Marleyan. He thought he would become a hero, and he's just a monster to the rest of the world. Everything he did, all the atrocities he committed, were literally for nothing because he was just being used by Marley. People wonder what. I say people. I mean, like I don't understand how anybody could care for Marley because it just doesn't make any sense. You know, why would anyone give a shit about Marley, including the Eldians or the Titans? Like, obviously, they're just used as fucking war puppets, and that's it. Like, Marley does not give a shit about them.
4 years after the Warriors' defeat, Eren began living in Marley. Having no basis on which to judge the people of the outside world aside from Grisha's memories, he still saw them as his enemies. But as he lived alongside them, he discovered the same truth that Reiner had once learned. The people of Marley were no different than the people inside of the walls. Eren realized that Reiner had once lived with the enemies he was doing now, and he began to think about how Reiner must have felt doing so.
We can end it there. I don't want to listen to any more of this man's dribble right now.
At some point, he'll bring something new, right?
Well, my thing is, he's bringing up the comparison of Eren and Reiner. Eren living among the Eldians and the Marleyans, you would think that would make Eren less want to do it less, you know. And and before he turns, it seems like he has a smidge of hope that he doesn't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like he takes Reiner's hand. He's like, well, maybe we don't have to. But because of what's his fucking name? You know, calling for war against the Eldians.
Really Tiber.
Yeah, that basically, you know, forced his hand. It was either like go to war right now or get killed by the rest of the world. So I mean, it wasn't much of a choice. And I don't really think it was something he wanted to do. But then again, that's insinuating Aaron has any kind of character development in any case, which we know he doesn't because it was all the will of Ymir. So I'm gonna end it there because there's not really a whole lot to say right now because this guy is just rambling and rambling on about just what the fuck ever. I don't know. He sure is doing a good job of like just saying a bunch of words and making it sound like it's a complete sentence.
Well, the comments reading it up, so maybe his last few points make sense. You know.
Oh, I bet his last few points are just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. I bet they make up for all the stupid shit he said so far. Can't wait to get to it in about 8 days. 8 days of this shit. But that's the first part done.